What you have just seen and heard is security footage obtained by the Idaho Tribune showing a car whiz by the Utah women's basketball team. A person inside said car shouted racial slurs in their direction and more. This stems from the incident that took place back in March during the NCAA Tournament. Because of scheduling conflicts with other sports, namely volleyball, in Spokane, Washington, the Utah women's basketball team was moved and was set to stay in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, as they went to Crafted Tap House and Kitchen in the town for dinner. Reports surfaced that they were racially abused. It was not just the team who attended, though. The group included staffers, cheerleaders, and the university band. Now, they were doubted over and over and over again by many right-wingers that it didn't happen. However, after the news broke,
we're going to bring this press conference to a close.
Evidence room outside of the evidence room. Great for policy
Let me just say this. There is another law called the verbal assault law. This press conference is ended. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, you made it.
A white supremacist named Dave Riley, who has ties to Republican lawmakers in the region, interrupted a press conference and shouted just that it was all fake. It indeed was not.
You know, we had several instances of some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us.
The head coach, Lynn Roberts, went public after it all went down. NBC News confirmed it occurred.
2 lifted pickups were revving their engines and speeding by. The report states the trucks turned around and yelled a racial slur towards the group, some of the members African American.
As did ABC.
Officers confronted the Patriot Front group on Saturday. There they are on their knees and arrested. Dozens were piled in the back of a moving truck. Police say they were traveling to a pride event where they were hoping to set off a riot.
The region is no stranger to extremist groups. Recall Patriot Front being arrested for attempting to disrupt a pride event in the state. Interesting how the cops will allow these men to keep their masks on. Yet when it comes to protesting genocide and our taxpayer dollars being used to wipe out families in the Middle East, well, those students should have their masks removed and have Fox News broadcast it to their minions. Insanely hypocritical, but hey, since the cops wouldn't do so, we will. Here were their mugshots for all to see. Know if you see one of these individuals, who they are and what they stand for, what their core beliefs are. Because you know what? You should know. We would learn about Coeur d'Alene and the history of northern Idaho throughout all of this via NPR. It became known as a haven for extremism and racist groups in the 70s and 80s when the Aryan Nations relocated its headquarters there. Skinheads held parades in the 90s. Activity declined following a lawsuit, but 2 summers ago, the Pride arrest went down. ESPN would also report. In Spokane and northern Idaho, at least 9 hate groups operated in the region, including Identity Evropa, Proud Boys, Act for America, and America's Promise Ministries, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, and their reporting in the year 2018. To update this story, we have now reached the conclusion, and it is disappointing. Let me tell you about it. The Coeur d'Alene Press writes criminal charges will not be filed against an 18-year-old Post Falls student in connection to a racial incident that received national attention, according to the city's chief deputy city attorney. Ryan S. Hunter would then file a 6-page complaint, and here are parts of it. In short, I cannot find probable cause that Anthony Myers' conduct, shouting out of a moving vehicle at a group of people, constituted either disturbing the peace under state law or disorderly conduct under the CDA Municipal Code. Instead, what has been clear from the very outset of this incident is that it was not when or where or how Mr. Myers made the grotesque racial statement, that caused the justifiable outrage in this case. It was the grotesque racial statement itself. Hunter would then add this. We've already seen the admission that this did happen. So for everyone saying, oh, where's the proof? Oh, we didn't know what happened. They just said it did. And this follows months of reporting that said it did. However, Hunter would add, to be clear, the statements of the other occupants of the vehicle and of Mr. Myers himself all support that he, as a white male, thought it would be funny to shout his willingness to have, you see it there, with a black female despite his expressed hate for black folks, which he made abundantly clear by deploying the N-word, setting aside the rank absurdity of the claim and the abjectly disgusting thought process required to believe it would be humorous to say something that abhorrent. It nevertheless undermines that he had the required specific intent to intimidate and harass. Now we have more from the spokesman, and I want to read you part of this. Myers' words were deemed to be protected speech under Idaho law. Prosecutors described the language as racist and misogynistic, but determined Myers' actions did not amount to criminal conduct. More evidence would support the use of slurs that were audible when the team was walking back from dinner. Footage captured a silver car driving past the team with someone inside it shouting multiple slurs and threatening sexual acts. That is per the document. A female voice is also heard in the audio shouting for someone to call the police. 5 witnesses gave varied descriptions of the vehicles and a person shouting racial slurs. Lastly, from CNN, and then we shall discuss. In the review, Hunter wrote that an 18-year-old male high school student initially admitted to using the N-word toward the team, but later tried to retract part of his police confession. Here is where I must ask, is threatening to potentially, hypothetically, R-word a woman and using racial slurs protected speech, or are they just protecting him? Discuss it in the comments. If you can, please do support us here at TYT Sports. Become a channel member. Go to youtube.com/TYT Sports and click the join button, and or go to TYT.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate all the love.